Virat Kohli once said that pressure is indeed a privilege. So this was a mistake which I did in one of my attempts, that I got anxious and I could not have a proper sleep just one day before the examination. We all have a sense of fear that what if I fail? We should not be running behind any new topic, a sense of fear that what will be the nature of questions that the UPSC is going to ask us. So the next thing which I feel important in the last few days is to have a proper mindset, all the three attempts, and how did it made a change in the result with the change in mindset which I had. So today I am here to share how did I manage or how did I spend my last few days before I went on to attempt my UPSC Prelims exam. So hello everyone, I am Ujjwal Priyank, All India Rank 10 in UPSC CSE 2025. As we all know that Prelims is hardly a few days away, and as a serious aspirant, no matter how well we have prepared, how much efforts we have put in, or how much hours we have dedicated to prepare for this examination, we all have a sense of fear. A sense of fear that what if I fail? A sense of fear that what will be the nature of questions that the UPSC is going to ask us. So today I am here to share how did I manage or how did I spend my last few days before I went on to attempt my UPSC prelims exam in my all the three attempts, and how did it made a change in the result with the change in mindset which I had. So let us start with a very popular saying. It is said, or rather I would say that Virat Kohli once said that pressure is indeed a privilege. Believe me, he is absolutely right. Pressure is indeed pressure is indeed a privilege. And I believe that to some extent this is right. Because trust me, when you will go on to attempt a paper, a UPSC prelims paper, in a very calm environment, when you will take the paper at your home and then you will start solving it, then you will definitely find that your accuracy level would not be such as you will be having while you are attempting the same paper in a time constrained manner, in a competitive environment, in a timed manner at a UPSC center. So to some extent, I believe that pressure indeed enhances our productivity, but we need to streamline, or I would rather say that we need to have a proper strategy to streamline this pressure. So I will start with how did I manage with the revision part or managing the content in the last 1 week. So as we all know that there are a lot of subjects which we need to focus in the prelims. So and if we look at the notes that we have, so it also gets quite bulky, which is not possible to revise all of them in a span of say 5 days or say 10 days. So what was my strategy? That I always tried to prioritize what I need to revise, because when you attempt a lot of mocks or when you go through the PYQ analysis, because practice, all of us would have completed the practice part and we would have given n numbers of mocks, or we would have analyzed our PYQs well by now. So when we look at the PYQs, then we get to identify various themes which are there, which are quite important. So here I will not figure out or try to give you a list of the important themes, so that you may not get a sense of missing out or a FOMO, or that I have missed this topic or what. So we all, whatever the topics that we have finalized that these are important or these are frequently repeated themes, or there is a high chance of a question coming from this topic, from say geography or say from polity. So in the last few days, what we need, that we need to revise these few topics that we have prioritized. Say I will start with polity on Monday, then I will try to go through as many as topics possible in the say a span of 1 day revision, or whatever the time that I'm able to devote, say 7 hours or 8 hours that we are able to give in a single day. So I'll try to revise as much as possible the most important themes, the most repeated themes, the topics which are anticipated based on what the topics have been in the current affairs. So I will revise those things. Then the next day I'll try to take another static subject. So then I'll say revise geography. So after a few time, after say one day has elapsed, then I will take a very little time with a spaced revision, what we call spaced revision. I'll revise again quickly what the themes of polity I revised on Monday. And that again, since you have already revised it on Monday and you are having a very little time span in which you are revising it again, so the time duration will be getting very lower in the next revision that you will do. So this is how I will try to maximize my revision, by prioritizing the topics and the themes which I have anticipated is most important, and that is not just based on what I think, but it is based on what PYQs are, or say what the topics that have been there in the mocks. Then I will also like to highlight here that in the last few what we say last few days, we should not be running behind any new topic, no new material, because you will find that there will be a lot of new things that would be coming, a lot of new YouTube videos would be there, or question prediction series would be there. So even I used to see that before 1 week, or let's say 10 days, there used to be a lot of question prediction series. So kindly refrain from watching those things, because then again, if you will indulge yourself into such analysis, so they are never ending things, and then you will again get a sense of anxiety that I'm not able to complete my revision, or say I'm not able to revise my things properly. So kindly manage your time, prioritize your things. Whatever the practice part that was to be done has been done. Just keep revising the things which you have developed as a result of practicing again and again in the mocks, because we tend to develop a sense of many tricks, such as we tend to find certain ways of solving questions, say elimination method, or say how do I solve a question if I am stuck with just two options at the end, or what is the how many rounds I am taking to solve the paper. So these all things would have been completed, or I would say would have been done by now, since we all have done the mocks. So just keep revising, keep thinking about those things which you have learned in the journey in the past few months. So this was the first thing that was related to the part of the revision. So the next thing which I feel important in the last few days is to have a proper mindset which is required to clear this examination. Because see, no matter how well you have studied or how well you have practiced, I would say that if you are not having the right mindset which is required, then most probably we won't be able to have a very good performance on the final examination day. So always have a positive attitude towards examination, because this we also read in ethics when we give mains. So there is always the necessity to have a positive attitude towards the examination, that I will do it no matter what, no matter what will be the nature of the questions, or what will be the difficulty level. I will do it, since I have prepared hard for this examination. I have put in the hours which was required. Therefore, I have the courage, or I have the ability which is required to clear this examination. So never ever think that you won't be able to do. So there is a I will just use an analogy here, that suppose you are going to learn swimming, and the very first day when you are about to enter into the water, and you think that what if I drown, I will die, then there is a high probability that when you will go into the water, you may drown. So don't ever think about failure, just have a positive attitude. I'm not telling that go in a delusional world, but at least have a mindset which provides you the right mental well-being. So when we are talking of the mental well-being, it is also important that how we deal with the FOMO, which most of us have. We all have a sense of, or a fear of missing out, that our peer groups, or those who are there are many people who are definitely working much harder than what we are, or they have read much better content than what I have read. So in such situation, what is need to be done is that kindly try to ignore such feelings, just try to avoid such feeling, just try to deviate your mind whenever you start to have such anxiety. What I used to do is that in the evening time, generally I never ever studied or try to read something in the evening time, mostly I try to have a very fresh mind. I just used to go out, or I used to go on the terrace, or just try to keep myself engaged in certain works. No, it means so that I don't get that anxiety and my mind remains calm or something like that. Even if you are a spiritual person, like I suggest everyone that at least few minutes in our daily schedule of 24 hours, we should spend at least a little time on spiritual things, because then again it provides a sense of confidence in us. Because also if we read at the sociology of religions and all, so there also it is many of the sociologists has provided that when people are focusing their mind, say, on meditation, or they are having certain sense of faith on the super uh, on any supernatural thing, on or what we call jo Bhagwan, or whatever we have, on whoever we have our belief system. So if we have a certain time where we dedicate ourselves to such things, we chant the names or we try to meditate, then it gives a sense of confidence that even in difficult times there is someone who will help us. So just try to avoid such things. Don't overthink about insecurities. Don't try to overthink about what will happen and all, because any that is something beyond our control. It is something uncontrollable. So just try to avoid such things. The next very important thing which we must take care of is to have our mind and body in sync with the examination time. Because as we all know, that there the paper, the GS and the CSAT papers that are conducted on the prelims examination day, they are conducted in two slots. So first is the slot of 9:30, where the GS examination is conducted, and it is till 11:30. And then we have the next slot of 2:30 to 4:30, where we have the CSAT paper. So what we need to do is that we need to sync our brain, the or what I say, that our brain should be active in this period. Brain should be active in these 2 hours. So suppose that you are a night person, and you are not generally awake, or you are generally not reading at 9:30, then I suggest that in the last few days just try to wake up early, and just try to sit at 9:30 till 11:30, so that your brain get adjusted and it performs well, and it is able to recall the things that you have read in those 2 hours. So it is very important that your body is in sync with the examination cycle. So this is one important thing that I suggest to everyone that should be done. Then the next thing is the importance of having a good physical health. Because again, as you see that it is the month of summer, month of May, and in the time of summer, generally when you will go to the examination hall, the conditions or the environment may not be the same as you have at the place where you are studying. Suppose there would be no air condition, there may be high humidity on that day. You may not be having a you may not be having proper or a cool air or a fan just nearby. It may be kind of a little far from where you are being seated. So it is very important that you should have a proper physical health in the last few days. So keep your body hydrated, I would say. So just try to intake nutritious things, such as we take curd or salads or anything that suits you. Keep your body hydrated, drink a lot of water and all. So just keep check on your physical health, so that you are performing well on 24th of May. Just try avoiding anything which can get you ill or which may hamper your performance. So just try avoiding any such things. So that is also important. So we discussed what needs to be done with physical health, what needs to be done with the sleep cycle. Also, it is important that you must have proper sleep. Just try to have 7 to 8 hours of sleep daily, so that your mind remains healthy. So just have proper sleep. That this was a mistake which I did in one of my attempts, that I got anxious and I could not have a proper sleep just one day before the examination. I could not sleep properly with a sense of fear that what will happen tomorrow. So just try to avoid such things. Just have a faith that I have revised everything. A, I am a healthy mind. I am a pure soul, and whatever I have, whatever was to be done, I have done it properly. And when I will go to the exam, I will just try to give in my full effort so that I could maximize my score. So since we are now in the last leg of our preparation before going to the prelims, so I would only suggest that as we have already seen that my strategy was to have a proper physical health, to have a proper mental well-being, and to ensure that I revise as much as possible before going for the prelims. This is not the time that you get stuck with the marks which you scored in the mocks, or I didn't prefer to give any mock in the last few days. Just try to revise as much as possible whatever the notes you have. Just go through the most anticipated topic which you think. Just refrain from having any new thing now at least, and just have a confidence, because prelims is much more conquered on by a proper mindset rather than, or I would say, a proper strategy rather than just collecting various materials or trying to research more and more on various topics. So just have a positive mindset, have a positive strategy, just have confidence, have a smile on your face in the last few days, because if you will be confident, half of the battle would be won already. Just try to maximize your energy, just provide a better direction to your energy, which I always used to do, at least in my third attempt while I was giving while I was going to give prelims. Also, it is important, just don't ignore CSAT, because again, in the last few days, what I used to do was that I used to dedicate certain hours for CSAT, where I would just look at the topics which are frequently repeated, and I would just look the way on how such questions can be solved quickly. So just whatever the questions in mathematics or logical reasoning are there, just try to revise the method to solve such questions. Don't ignore. It is something which cannot be ignored, at least now, because the level of paper is going up each passing year. So just try to maximize your effort by revising various things. Just keep a check on your health, as I already mentioned. Ensure that you have a proper body clock in sync with the examination time. So this is all which I did, and I think that if you will have confidence, if you will have that sense of thing that I will do it, मैं कर लूंगा no matter what, because again prelims में बहुत सारे questions ऐसे होंगे which are bouncers for, and what I feel is कि जो prelims है, in that it is very well said thing that जो cut off, whatever the cutoff is in a prelim exam, it is equal to the number of easy questions. It is not the difficult questions are not the deciders, because when we try to portray prelims, we try to people try to showcase the questions which was very difficult or which was not solvable by majority of the people, even those who cleared the prelims examination. So kindly just don't try to focus on those topics. Just try to get those topics right which are repeated themes, or which are easy to solve, which we all of us read. Just try to do it, and as I already said, that try to streamline your energy, try to avoid FOMO. So this was all which I used to do in the last few days before I attempted the prelims. So I also think that when you or any aspirant will try to follow this strategy, it will definitely work. At least it has worked for me. So this was all which I thought that I should share with you all. So I think you must have tried to get at least something from whatever I had shared with you, and that was all from my side.